Good evening. I am the narrator, and welcome to my parlor. Tonight's topic is the Extra-Terrestrial Hypothesis. When most people think UFOs, they think spaceships from other planets. When they think UFO knots, they think extraterrestrials. Organisms that eat, sleep, age, and so forth. Popular culture portrays them as such. News media, without affirming their existence or endorsing the belief in it, assumes if they are real, they're extraterrestrial. I call them aliens myself for ease of reference. This is easily understood. Many of the objects resemble spacecraft. The entities resemble what we think aliens would look like, thanks to the arts and entertainment. In the contactee era, they even claimed to be aliens and said their planets of origin. The ETH is intuitive. Most would naturally assume it. It has spawned a modern mythology. Secret meetings and treaties with the U.S. government. The government has access to their military technology, they to U.S. citizens. Secret bases beneath the Mojave Desert, hybrid breeding programs. They seek to replenish their dying stock with ours, or create a fifth column within our population. This belongs more to the realm of trash literature than actual research, but still taints the field and the public's perception. To clarify, I'm not hostile to ETH proponents, I just think they're mistaken. My stance in this video isn't new, original, or unique. It's not even obscure. Still, I think the ETH is too dominant, not to writers and researchers, but to the public. It makes it hard for those like me to explain our views. When the subject arises and one says he believes in UFOs, he immediately hears, "You know interstellar travel is impossible, right? You know none of the planets in our solar system can support life, intelligent or otherwise, right?" Indeed, but one is backed into a corner. One must explain he believes in UFOs, but that they aren't extraterrestrial. One is then asked, well, what do you believe they are? Then one has to explain the interdimensional hypothesis, which can't be in casual conversation. It takes too long and requires references to things the other person has never heard of. This isn't our fault, simply the nature of our beliefs. It is one reason the ETH dominates. It's the quickest and easiest to explain, and attention spans are short. And it's the most easily portrayed in film and television. My issue isn't with the layman who may or may not believe in UFOs. I don't care what they think. My issue is with researchers who cling to the ETH despite all evidence to the contrary, especially those who resent those like me in our perspective, blame us for the field not being respected. For decades it hasn't been, with them at the helm. I'll explain my disbelief. To me, clearly UFOs aren't spacecraft. In fact, many don't even seem to be solid objects. Most are simply lights. They do things solid objects can't. Appear out of nowhere, vanish back therein, split into multiple duplicates, which then move on their own before reuniting. Change size and shape. They seem to know they're being watched and interact with observers. If a person steps back, they may float forth. If the person steps forth, they may float back. Ditto for side to side. All in all, they are more a light show than spacecraft. To this, the ETH proponent has answers. They have cloaking technology, hence they can appear and disappear. But why in mere seconds? And why entertain us with aerial maneuvers if they're on missions? Do their pilots find us entertaining? Are we truly worth toying with? To me, clearly, the entities themselves aren't flesh and blood. They step out of their supposed craft and onto solid land, engaging contactees directly. How can they breathe our air or move in our gravity without special apparatus? They appear in homes when doors and windows are locked. They walk through walls. Surely, technology that temporarily alters their atoms. They must have it. I believe in something similar, but that's for my next upload. To me, clearly, abductions aren't literal kidnappings. There's little evidence abductees have bodily left their homes or vehicles. The topic seems more supernatural, like out-of-body or near-death experiences. If aliens need to rejuvenate their genes with ours, how are they and us compatible? It would seem to undermine Darwin at the very least. If they are researching our anatomy, why have they done so for so long? Why so many abductees? They would only need a small number of specimens, from both sexes, different racial and age groups and ages, to understand our anatomy. And what are the changes in belief many abductees describe? Those who become vegetarians and environmentalists, or who acquire a new interest in spirituality. Why would the aliens teach us so? If they don't, why would the abductions have that effect? The ETH proponent may argue they are concerned with our and our planet's welfare, but I think the explanation is more esoteric. Then there's the descriptions of craft interiors. They don't sound like what we would expect of spacecraft. Rarely are cockpits described with buttons, control panels, and display screens. Rarely are the crew's quarters. Consider the descriptions of the operating rooms. The technology is crude and simplistic. Abductees drink liquid from cups. Needles are shoved in their nostrils and other orifices without even local anesthetics. An advanced species, indeed. The ETH proponent will raise the matter of breeding, gene splicing, and hybrid offspring. Tales of phantom pregnancies, of women being handed what look like hybrid infants to hold and cuddle, of infants seen floating in liquid tanks. To me, these aren't literal, but symbolic of our relationship with the phenomena, which I will detail further later on. This has been a brief overview, an introduction to a series. Stay tuned.